on it. We're live. Wrestling on the Rocks. I'm going to give it a minute. Let people get settled. Let us get settled.
Get on our channel.
Get on the channels and such. I'm going to pour myself a glass. This appears to be getting pretty low on the old Crown Royal blender smash.
Boom.
Again, Crown Royal, anyone you know who works there, or if you're listening, we're looking for a sponsorship. As you can tell. Ooh, that is the end. That is the end of that.
Oh.
All right. Crown Royal. As you can tell, I'm a dedicated fan to all your work. Let's see here. Clump has his coffee.
Yes.
Well, cheers in memoriam to Kevlar, who is not here today.
I ate him.
You ate him or hate him?
Ate him. Consumed.
Yeah.
Rah, rah, rah.
I can see that too.
Yeah, it's very possible.
So, what's going on with Kevlar? Just to keep everyone up to date. Looks like we got no viewers, so no one's going to be too concerned yet. We like to keep this a positive show, positive note, talk about the things we like.
Yeah.
So he's just going to stay home.
Okay.
He was not a big fan this week. So.
Okay. This feels like a, if you can't see something.
Oh yeah, if you can't say
Say
something
something
nice,
nice.
stay the fuck home.
Oh,
We'll see you next week, Kevlar.
Raw wasn't bad.
I mean, I liked more than he apparently liked.
I don't think either pay-per-view were bad except for the end of either event was bad except for the very end of the pay-per-view. But even Raw, I was like, okay, I'm happy.
Let's go over a little bit of that. Before we get into Raw, as people are trickling in, let's just wrap up our views and our predictions of Money in the Bank. We did cover Money in the Bank in its entirety match by match last night, so we're not going to do that today, but we do have Clump, who was not here yesterday. Due to him just being dumb or something, I don't remember what was wrong with you, but something.
I had to talk about work for an extended period of time.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
I got diarrhea from pizza.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. So when I tallied up our predictions, I actually looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, you take notes better than me.
8, 9. I got 9 right. Kevlar got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. 5 right. And then Clump got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got one more than Kevlar.
Okay.
So you got 6, he got 5, I got 9. I'm good at this, guys.
It's a podium finish for all of us because it's only us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Every time. Let's see. It was really difficult for me to tally that up based off the notes that you'd taken previously.
If you want to see what my notes look like when I write them.
That's disgusting. That's a lot of hair.
Yeah.
Let's see, real quick. Let's go down a little bit. I think you also agreed that had we known that the SmackDown titles were not up for grabs, you probably would have picked the Usos and not Daniel Bryan to win.
Yeah.
Apart from that, did you have any highlights you wanted to mention about the Cruiserweight belt?
Belt match. I hadn't seen Tony Nese or Daivari before, and I thought it was a really good match. Yeah. I thought I really liked Tony Nese's entrance music because I was like, this is pretty tight, and I like the character of Daivari. Yeah. Though it does feel like a lot of people went to college with, which I also like as a heel. I'm like, I want to kick your ass because you double parked where I'm supposed to park.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Any highlights for anything that really stands out?
In the entire event?
Yeah, the entire event. I was obviously a huge fan and proponent for Bayley winning both things that night. Freaked out.
I was really so when Bayley won, super pumped. It was really like a big thing. I mean,
nice moment.
Spouse and I were watching, and like, you know, I was almost crying because it was just so nice, and it was such a good end. It was such a cool, like, she looked strong ending to it. I loved it.
The show could have ended there. I'd been happy.
And I was initially like, I was like yelling like, no, 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 because I did not want another women's Money in the Bank match to end with an assistive win. Yeah. We need to make people stronger. I really didn't like the Ellsworth win. I didn't like that style. Yeah. So I was super pumped. I was really upset with how Becky lost the SmackDown belt. Yeah. But I could not think of a better way for that to have gone other than having Becky maintain it.
Yeah. Either Becky maintains it or it went down the way that it went.
Exactly, yes. Other events, the men's Money in the Bank match is absolutely amazing. That spot with Andre and Finn Andrade and Finn was fantastic.
Crazy.
The spot with Andrade and Ali was absolutely great.
Crazy.
And as much as I don't think we need to see more of Bork Lesnar, and I will call him Bork Lesnar. Bork eat title. Yeah. As much as I don't like Brock Lesnar appearing or whatever, I don't like Lesnar appearing, and I think we've seen so much of him in the past 5 years. I think that was a good moment, and I think it got the audience to react. And I think my hope is, given what we saw this week, that this is a different character of Brock too. This is Brock just, I don't give a fuck, and just owning it, and I love that. I want a bad heel, and I think that works for him and Heyman. So him coming in, taking the belt was cool, and it's also cool seeing him have something where it means something to a lot of people, and it's not him being the king of the mountain, it's him chasing, but he has this incredible ability to be right on edge, and I think it can bring excitement. So as much as a lot of other people I would have preferred to win it, I think this is good, and I think overall it was a fantastic pay-per-view.
I think it was a good way to do it.
Do you think the pay-per-views are kind of apologies for the prior month's SmackDowns and Raws?
Our Loden's back again. Same with Stackhouse. What's up, guys?
Yo!
Happy to have you here. I agree with what you're saying, too, the sentiment of it all. Like I was saying yesterday a little bit, I can understand why people would be upset about the Brock Lesnar win. I know from a talent perspective, it's got to be shitty to put all that work into a great match and then have at the very end, not one of the people who put in that much effort get to walk away with it. But again, from the Brock Lesnar character perspective and from a TV viewing perspective, yeah, what a fucking moment, dude. So I do agree with both sides of it, really. Apart from that, I mean, so I didn't think it was that horrible of an end, but I mean, I do understand why people were frustrated with it.
Yeah.
Any other moment in there you wanted to shout out before we get to Raw?
I really don't like that Sammy and, for that matter, Braun, how they got placed in this, because I think, again, I think it's a good way it could have gone, but I could have seen other ways, and there's other ways to introduce Brock.
It bummed me out because I don't know where we're going to go with Sammy now. And then based off what we saw last night, and we'll get to that too, I still don't know where we're going to go with Sammy now. And I was so excited for the push he was getting, in the way that he was getting it, the story that was being told, and now it feels like that's come to a screeching halt, and I just don't know where we go from there. So from that perspective, yeah, I was devastated that Sammy was out.
It was cool seeing Triple H again. I know it's weird, but it was kind of nice seeing Triple H. And it was really funny as they started promoting in the pay-per-view and then in Raw. The Super Show. What is it? We're not going to refer to where it's at. 2 weeks.
Super Showdown.
Super Showdown.
They did say on This Week on Raw, they did say a whole bunch of times that it was going to be in Jihad.
Jeddah.
I don't know the difference, man. What's the difference?
One is a biblical war, but whatever. But I loved how it would trail off, and at one point where they said Jeddah, the music kind of like quickly came up, so it just like cut out. Like,
coming to you live from Jeddah.
Coming live. Money.
Yeah, here comes the money. Well, then, I mean, yeah, let's get into Raw, because, I mean, anything that we had to say that comes up that sparks your mind, it'll kick back from Raw anyway, so. It did open up with Paul Heyman coming out with Brock Lesnar boomboxing his way out with the Money in the Bank.
I think he's listening to Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor as he's going.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Shortly after he gets going, Seth comes out. And I'll say this was probably the best promo we've seen from Seth this year.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't incredible. I wasn't like, holy shit, guys, watch this. But Seth and Heyman going back and forth, I think is some of the best work that Seth does. And when I think about his good promos he had prior to facing Brock, it was only when he was going back and forth with Heyman as they were looking at each other versus when he would do a backstage promo about it or an in-ring promo where Heyman didn't show. So I don't know what it is about working with Heyman, but it's pulling the best out of him.
I don't know what it is with Rollins, because I agree with you. As I was thinking about this looked good with Rollins, but then I saw him in the ring later, and I was like, okay, I'm getting less and less invested in Seth Rollins, and I want to like him.
Yeah.
What is
Something's
that? Yeah, that match with AJ Styles was fantastic at the pay-per-view, but it still didn't really seem to
Impactful.
resonate. Yeah, because the build sucked. I did find the build sucked. The ending was kind of like eh.
Yeah.
It just pittered out, and I don't get what's the difference, because I really do like Seth Rollins. He's really good. He has some of my favorite moments in matches, spots,
Yeah.
ever.
And something's not clicking.
Exactly.
And I get that. That's exactly how I feel about it. I feel like he's easily one of the best wrestlers of the entire generation that we're watching. And for some reason, I'm kind of over him and tired of him. I feel like I could use a break and come back to it later. But yeah, you're right. Like 2 years ago, it was all like, oh yeah, Seth's the absolute future of the industry. As of right now, it's kind of like, I'm just tired of it. I just don't know what it is.
Backstage, him and Kofi. Kofi cut a way better promo than.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Every time. We'll get to that too.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I did like.
the one bit that really not upset me, but the one bit that I was like, come on, dude, you're fucking better than that, is Seth tells Brock to be a man and fight me right now. I never liked the whole be a man thing from anybody in any context.
The only reason I've liked it so much with Becky is that it's resonated and become such a funny thing.
Well, that's different from telling someone to be
Yes.
a man. That's saying, I am the man. Totally different and totally behind that. But when a man or a woman tells a man to be a man and therefore behave this way or do what I want you to do or give me something, you know what I mean? Be a man and do what I want. You know what I mean? Be a man, give me what I want. Give me what I want!
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've never understood that. Anytime, even if I was ever in a situation where a woman even told me, be a man, do this or that, it always made me laugh more than anything. So it's like, that's the dumbest concept of man every time it's used.
And then with all the high school specials or after school specials I watched as a kid, be a man to me, that means that Seth's going to put the title down and walk away. He's going to just leave and be the bigger man, which really doesn't fit with wrestling. It's really anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe something like where he sees a Jesus vision.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's see. Paul says that. Paul had that comment in there saying that he's gonna have to wait, and you know what it's like to wait. And you waited 7 hours to watch your girlfriend main event a show you've only dreamed of main eventing. And I was like, fuck. That's how you do it. Remember we even talked about when they first, leaked the information that they were together and all that, and they acknowledged it. I was afraid it was gonna start being used in people's promos and stuff and kind of undermine things. That was the way to do it because that was good.
I hope that's the only time it comes up, though.
Me too. I hope it doesn't come up again. But I think that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then he starts saying how Brock might cash in on Kofi, and so then Kofi comes out. I love how Kofi comes out and goes, wild card! I'm hoping anybody who watches the show was doing that like I was. And then Kofi says he wants to cement his legacy and take on the best and beat the best, and he goes, I want Brock. He wants to face Brock. Paul then responded in probably the best way you could ever do it and say, look at you guys trying to court Brock Lesnar into a match. You guys are auditioning for a position with Brock in a main event match, and I thought that's the right way to handle that too, and I thought it was clever, funny, but also kind of like, yeah, why are there two champions trying to convince someone to make them...
One, I think Kofi could have a good story because similar to a lot of people who've lost to Lesnar, Kofi had a really great match with Lesnar in Japan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Beast in the East was the main event of that show, and it was in the Tokyo Dome, was Kofi Kingston and Brock Lesnar.
Nice.
So I think it'd be cool to go back to that.
Did Brock win?
Yeah.
A
little bit.
little bit.
It's close.
Yeah. I do like the idea of it, the sentiment of I'm trying to cement my legacy. I'm trying to prove that I'm the greatest. I'm trying to prove that I deserve to be here. And they haven't seen me with Brock, but they have seen Brock with Seth. So I understand the sentiment. And I like it. I dig it. I don't know which match I would want really. Just because we know that Brock can work with Kofi, and if Brock and Kofi have an honestly great match and Kofi goes over, what a great thing for Brock to put over Kofi and really cement his legacy. Versus if Brock goes down for Seth one more time, is it really going to matter? If they did fight again, I'd want Brock to win this time, just because the match they had was so bad last time that I'm kind of like, I want a 1-for-1 here, and then you can have the buffer match, whatever they call it, three match thing. So it could lead to more later, but I don't know. We'll see where it ends up.
I would like all 3 matches to involve dick kicks.
Oh, they have
I would like Brock to win this one next one. With what I imagine would be the fiercest like kick to the dick ever, where Seth Rollins is like carted out like.
He gets kicked in the dick and then his eyes start bleeding.
Yeah, he's around and he's in a cast from like here down for weeks. Oh.
My dick all hard like milk.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Cartoonish like lump.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. After that, Sammy's in the back with Bobby Lashley. He's cutting a promo because he's got a match with Braun, and Lashley tells him he's not going to help him out. I thought it was a good back and forth between the two of them. I thought Sammy was the better of the two, but I thought that Bobby came off good. But then we ended up getting a Sammy versus Braun match. I really liked how Sammy came out super sluggish and yelling at people in the audience. And he started immediately trying to run away. He gets to the back. Braun ends up going back and forth with him in the back, carries him back out, and then Braun just absolutely dominates and wins with a power slam. I thought Sammy sold really well, made the story look cool. But I'm done with that. I hope that we don't revisit that.
Yeah, that's like my thing was, as I watched it, my notes were like, okay, I like Zayn running away as a heel. I like that part. If you're going to kick his ass backstage, I think it'd be better if Sammy kicked his ass and actually like somehow beat Braun. We don't need to see Zayn lose again and again. Also, it was cool the spot of them going through Gorilla. I liked that. But it was funny that no one was at Gorilla. I was like, this is the busiest fucking part of this whole
No, they went through the curtain that leads into the Gorilla spot, and then there's a room right there that then they walk out to the front. So they just didn't show the middle bit where everyone actually is, because we got to do that backstage tour. And yeah, you go up those stairs, there's a curtain, you walk through it, and then there's the 2 desks, and
Vince glaring at you, and
Johnny Ace was right there, and Cole, and I think Briscoe was sitting right there with Dean Malenko or something. And they were all sitting there and just like talking, waiting, because the show obviously wasn't going, so Vince wasn't there. But then yeah, you're in this little room right there, and then you just go out and you come around the corner and you're out in the front. So
yeah,
so yeah, they went back into the Gorilla position, but we didn't see the Gorilla position, and then he comes out carrying Sammy.
I mean, I get you want to make Brock look strong or Braun look strong, but why does Zayn have to look weak? Why can't Zayn? Well, or why can't we build this and make it a longer feud where there's an event at a pay-per-view? Or why, if Zayn's going to be this heel who doesn't care and he's...
You can't make Zayn look too strong against a character like Braun if he's on the up. And Zayn can take the loss because everyone wants to see him get his ass kicked. So it kind of works.
But he could also...
I just don't want it to be revisited.
Yeah, but he could also do something backstage. Like, he was back there.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be super cool if, like, pulled the pipe out. Hit his ass... Then again, like, just beat the shit out of Braun with a pipe.
You want him to pull his pipe out?
Yeah, just...
Dude, what is with you? Oh, what'd you think of that Lars Sullivan Lucha house party spot at Money in the Bank?
I mean...
Yeah, they had that shot where it was like right up his craw. I thought you'd like that, based off of all your previous talks. So after that, I thought Sammy sold well. I thought it was great as far as it could be. But again, I'm just done with it. We saw them last year. It was not fun. This year it's much better, but I'm ready to move on if they are. After that, we get Seth and Kofi, who find Triple H. And that's when he tells them they're in a tag match together against Corbin and Lashley. Super not interested in that match. I don't know why we want to see Corbin and Lashley with these 2 dudes again.
Yeah.
But there we are. So then that moves forward into the Lars interview, where they show a video, and then they ask him a question, and the Lucha House Party comes up, interrupts. They start to get over on Lars, which is pretty cool. They kick him out of the ring, then he gets mad, and then just beats the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
And we're back to where we started.
Why have them revisit that? I mean, like, I was like, what is this? Is this going to be a feud where it's going to be Lucha House Party versus Lars Sullivan? Because, I mean...
I don't know. I think... We'll get to this. I'm going to get back to this. I'm going to circle back to Lars. But I don't know where they're going at this point, no. I don't see where you can go with it.
Yeah. And we've... from what I actually heard some things backstage from, like, people like Titus O'Neil put out a tweet where he said that Lars Sullivan has not only apologized to members of the locker room, but reached out to see what he can do better. And that's cool. I like hearing that. That's awesome. That shows that we can kind of improve from horrible things we've done in our past. I don't necessarily think that helps with him feuding with the minority stable of people.
But then they got to beat him up for a little bit.
Yeah, but
But they're tiny. They're Ito. They're Ito.
Ito.
Little Ito. Lucha House Partito.
We're watching this, and I was asking Alexa, like, what does that mean in Spanish? Like, what does Lindsay Dorado mean in Spanish? And she's like, hearing them pronounce it, she's like, I don't know. And then she's like, wait, Lynx. I was like, oh, she's like, they just can't pronounce it. And I was like asking her, what does Grand Metalik mean? And she's like, great metal, like
Great metallic.
great metallic.
Yeah, he's like metallic and great. And
Yeah.
I thought Lince Dorado.
That's why he's got a cat mask, Lynx.
Yeah, he's a lynx. But well, wait, is Lynx Dorado how you call a lynx, top to bottom? Because I thought Dorado was like a
No, Dorado is gold.
yeah, like gold. Yeah, so he's gold. He's a gold lynx.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cat.
Yeah, it's very much annoying to me because it's a tiger mask.
Yes.
Which I'm like,
Literally
I want.
Tiger Mask.
And I want. If you're gonna do Tiger Mask, you could ask Tiger Mask to come work with you from NJPW. That'd be way cooler.
Yeah.
But no. Not this.
Yeah, Stackhouse brings up that Braun took a pin last week, so he had to kind of get his win back, and I get that. I do think that the way that he lost the match last week with Drew and Baron, I feel like it would have been more important for him to get the win back against one of them versus Sammy, because no one thought Sammy was winning that match. And no one walked away from that thinking, well, Sammy definitely got the better of him.
Yeah.
But I guess I could see where, from a character perspective, Braun would look at it and Sammy hired these dudes to do this. F you, Sammy, for tricking me into getting that win, and I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And yeah, he gets his win back. But again, I don't want to see Sammy try to get his win back. I don't want this to go back and forth anymore.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Braun now move on and say, now that I've taken care of Sammy, now I want Corbin, or now I want McIntyre.
Orbit Lashley. That might be a decent feud because they're big fucking guys. And it'd be cool to see him work with people who it's like, okay, well maybe.
Well, him and Lashley are going to have the Saudi show match. They've already announced that.
Then we need to build that up, clearly.
Yeah, so I guess he can say, I want Corbin.
Yeah.
He goes for Corbin. Lashley comes out and helps Corbin because that's his dude now. And then now it's like, here's Lashley and Corbin beating up on Braun. So now, oh, we already seen Braun and Corbin too. I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of where they're going. But, I mean, maybe, yeah. Maybe it could work.
I think because Braun and Sullivan would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what you did last year, which was the downside of like bulldozing someone through an entire roster is that then, okay, now we got to expect this guy to look weak, the guy who flipped the fucking ambulance, the guy who.
Yeah,
like,
100%. And then actually, that was brought up last night too when I saw Lars. They said that we've never seen the kind of devastation by Lars ever in the history of WWE. And I was like, except for Braun last year and the year before.
Yeah, Braun, Big Show, Mark Henry, Kane, Undertaker at points. Yeah. Brock, let's see, Big Show again, Big Show again, Big Show again.
Yeah, we've definitely had people come in and
Rikishi with a car.
But he did that for The Rock.
Hit that motherfucker with a car.
Yeah. Somebody hit that motherfucker with a car.
This ball got a goatee. Hit him with a car.
Let's see. After that, we get Ricochet versus Cesaro. So they had this whole backstage bit where Cesaro was talking shit to Ricochet. Michael Cole at one point says that Cesaro's trying to make a name for himself on Raw, so he's challenging Ricochet. Is it make a name for yourself if you wait for a dude to get the shit kicked out of him all night with ladders and then the next day be like, oh, I could beat you, I bet. And then have a tough time beating him?
Yeah.
When he was selling the fact that he had a broken back the whole time? Like, I don't think it puts you over as much as they say. A win in and of itself is not dominance.
And I don't think you need to build up Cesaro because Cesaro's proven... Yeah. Himself and with Sheamus, the crowd's over with him.
Yeah.
It's really that he's got to be like pushing the back end. You know, the backstage has to say like, you know what, we're gonna go with Cesaro. I'm really tired of Ricochet's theme. Like
one and only.
Came on, and I just like, fuck yeah. Cesaro's new theme.
Cesaro does have a new theme. I did put in here Cesaro's entrance is completely void of the bar now. Although there's a quick picture of him going like that. He does do that. I think it's just him saying, hey, Sheamus, I can't wait for you to come back. But I don't think it's anything to do with them together. I do believe they did say somewhere either this week or last week that Sheamus was on SmackDown and Cesaro was on Raw. That they did solidify that the bar had broken up. So Cesaro does come out to new music, which is not bar-like at all. But... I know I saw some people complain about it online saying it doesn't fit his gimmick and stuff, and I completely disagree. It was like the Swiss Superman, I thought. because he's got very Superman-like music.
Well, I remember reading something that he hated his theme, his old theme.
The
Like-
one with the James Bond shit.
Yeah, like he hated that theme.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
remember-
having a hard time remembering, but I know that when I heard
Dude,
it, I would hear.
yeah.
Oh yeah. This is better. This is. I mean, it feels like a Superman. It feels a lot like the original Superman theme, and they do call him like the Swiss Cyborg. Or not Swiss Cyborg. Do they call him that?
Yeah.
And they used to call him Swiss Superman.
I don't know why they separated them, because if you're putting them on Raw, they would be, well, you're trying to build Raw's division. They'd be, no, they're not building any division, but they're better together. Because right now, Sheamus is on the tail end of his career, probably, unfortunately, because of career injuries racking up. It's a good run together.
I think that's what I thought they were doing when they put the bar together, was to put them together so they could have a solid, good run. And Cesaro's always been more popular in tags.
Yeah.
When him and Tyson were together, him and Cesaro, him and Sheamus together.
That
it was
or-
always him and Ono when they were together on the Indies. Like he's always done better as a tag team artist. I'm not against him on singles. I like him as singles, but here we are. So Ricochet works his back the whole match. Yeah, Kevlar saying that Sheamus is hurt, and yeah, he's hurt. He's out. That's why I think they said the bar thing. But I think they also said that Cesaro was shaken up to Raw, and Sheamus was not. So when he does come back, I don't think we're gonna see them together.
Yeah. I really liked the match, though. I
Great
really
match.
liked it.
Absolutely great match. It's as good as you would think it would be with those two dudes. Who did Sheamus fight before that was very much, was it Ali? They did a kind of like a David and Goliath style match, or was that Mysterio?
Mysterio.
It was Mysterio.
Yeah,
It
it was
reminded me of that a little bit. You know, Ricochet and Cesaro told a similar story of here's a dude who's got like unparalleled strength for his size, and here's another dude who you can't seem to knock off his feet. Really good.
No, I think it's, and I wanted this to continue. I hope this does continue on. I think this could be a good long-standing feud. I thought Mysterio's fight with Cesaro last week was a little bit out of place because it kind of built the thing with Joe, but it seemed a little bit meh. I think this is a really good build, and I hope it continues.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Let's see, after that we get AJ promo where he's talking, he says the word hard a bunch, and it just became this really funny thing where I just kept waiting for him to, everything started to just be like, oh, this match was hard, and I was hard, and everything got hard. Baron comes in hard, you know?
Yeah.
Baron does jump in out of nowhere, the old Baron Corbin, and I really liked it. He goes, it was a slap in the face about this, and I was like, please slap him in the face, and then he did. Slap him in the face super hard, really good. You're gonna pay for that and all that shit.
Yeah.
I do think it was a great promo between the two of them going back and forth.
Oh yeah.
AJ and Baron might be fun, and I think they're trying to lead up to a Baron Seth. So I think unfortunately AJ's gonna take a loss at the end of this, but it might be great while it goes.
Well, and Baron. I was really impressed with him at Money in the Bank. He's good. He's a lot better in the ring.
He's really putting it out there lately. I feel this past year, I feel like every match has been, like I said, what was the triple threat? It was him, Corbin, Miz, and was it Lashley? McIntyre. The three of them had that triple threat, and I remember that one really bringing me around to Baron, saying like, this guy's championship material.
Yeah.
He just got to have the right partners, I think.
No, and I think a lot of it was, his music, his entrance is my favorite entrance in it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Was that a joke about his back door?
No.
Okay. Whatever. It's probably tattooed.
Yeah.
But I like his entrance. I like his character. I like him a lot more than he's fucking bald.
Yeah, he's way better. I don't think that he needs a change. Everyone's like telling him stop dressing that way. I actually, as much as I've made fun of it, I think it's a good look for him. And people are like, why is he still dressed that way if he's not the GM anymore? Well, he only sort of dressed that way to be GM. He was already GM when he changed his clothes. It was something like, I'm taking myself out. I'm giving myself a makeover. I'm bigger than this lone wolf. I'm a former GM. And then it becomes this like, no, I'm a professional. Right? So I don't think that it's that big of a deal. And I actually prefer the look to the previous look.
Yeah. It could be I could see it becoming something almost like, as he builds up, I could see him, because he's big, tall, and he's a big, tall, menacing motherfucker.
He's a big dude.
He could become something kind of cerebral, or, use that psychology part. And then that fits too, because I like that. It makes me think of like a big evil bad guy doesn't have to be like a biker or like that. I kind of like seeing like a dude who's like in like like that, not necessarily the corporate. Yeah, a guy is. I like seeing a bad guy like who's dressed formally because I like that. That isn't a McMahon, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because I'm getting really tired of being like Triple H or the McMahons or Corporate Kane where they're bad guys, but and they're in suits. And like, I would like someone else to be like, I'm a badass. I'm a bad guy. I'm a badass, and I'm like dressed like in this way, not like some.
Yeah, you're into bad boys with the job.
Yeah. They support you. They cover the. They pay for the stuff to cover the bruises.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. After that, Roman comes out.
Why?
Again.
Why?
On Raw.
Why?
Still.
Why? Then Shane comes out again. Why?
Why?
That's like, okay. Why are both of these people who are established on SmackDown?
Yeah, every week on both shows.
Yes.
I mean, so this is where, to me, the shakeup and the wild card rule is really starting to fall apart. And I guess not starting to, but really establishing that it's fallen apart. If the idea of the brand split initially was you were trying not to burn out dudes like The Rock and Austin and Cena and Punk and being like, hey, these are the top dudes. They can't be on every single show every single week because A, the guys are going to get burnt out.
We need to build new talent.
We need to build new talent. And C, the crowd's going to get tired of seeing them and only them all the time. So they make this brand split, which effectively led way for a spot available for AJ to make his rise. If Balor had been put in AJ's spot, he would have been in championship conversations already. But now with this wild card rule, they're utilizing it so Kofi can be on both shows. Roman's on both shows every fucking week. Roman's been on more Raws than SmackDown since he's come over on the shakeup. He shows up on most SmackDowns, but not all. He's been on all Raw. Like,
Roman's been on more.
Seth is showing up on both of them.
Roman's been on more Raws than the Raw Tag Team Champions.
Yes. He's been on more Raws than the Raw Tag Team Champions. Same with Miz. Been on every show. Like, it's already getting confusing. Mm-hmm. Lars came out and they showed a SmackDown thing below him. And I went, oh, is he on SmackDown? I hadn't realized, like, I had forgotten that he was called over to SmackDown because they immediately initiated the wildcard rule straight away with Lars. And they're like, oh, he's on SmackDown and now he's on Raw. Like, it just is making no sense. Matter of fact, when Shane comes out and says, I'm done with The Miz, he wants to focus on Roman and brings out Drew, which I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But he does all that stuff, and I think, oh, well, at least we're not going to see Shane and Miz tonight. Completely forgetting that Miz is on Raw. So then when I saw Miz, I was like, what's the fucking wild card rule here now? And then I realized, no, he's actually on his show. Shane was the fucking wild card for no goddamn reason. And Shane had to show up on Raw to tell another SmackDown talent that he's looking for him.
Yes, this entirely could have been done tonight.
This could have been done tonight.
This could have been done right now, and I would have been so much happier because I would have to watch it.
Yes.
No, I agree with you. I also, and I said this about Money in the Bank, I'm getting really tired of seeing Shane. They've burned him out that quickly, and it was cool seeing Shane back because we hadn't seen him for like 10 years. But right now, I'm real fucking done with Shane. I kind of want to see Stephanie. I kind of want to see more Triple H because this sucks.
Yeah, I'm a little tired of seeing him, but at the same time, it's only because that not only is he in-ring talent right now, but he's also the authority figure. If he had been split a little bit, coming out just to talk shit about people, but not trying to run the show, but now he's doing both sides, and it's a bit much. I'm burning him out. Yeah. I'm burnt out on Roman. Shane brings out Drew McIntyre and never says why during that whole promo. And
it's nice to see that Drew McIntyre's been just kicked down the card.
Yeah,
that's what it comes off to me. Is like I'm sure. Like there's a thing where it sounds cool when they pitches to you like you're gonna work with Shane. Great. No, he doesn't need it. Drew McIntyre doesn't need that. He would be one of those.
Building a badass faction that could be cool.
Yeah, but also he could build a badass faction without fucking Roman Reigns and Shane here.
No, I'm saying Shane. If he's building like a new alliance type thing, then okay.
He could also build that on SmackDown with people on SmackDown
where he should be.
Yeah.
I could see that.
And McIntyre could be in a badass faction on Raw, separate of these two guys, because there's no point to it.
Yeah, and then ultimately they never say why he comes out. He's like saying that he's focused on Roman, and then Drew McIntyre comes out, says nothing, and then he doesn't mention that Drew's standing next to him anymore. Then it cuts back. Miz finds Shane in the back, says he's not done with him, and McIntyre says he has to go through him. So now Miz is acting super tough, and it comes off really dumb. I did not think it went well at all. But now we have a Drew McIntyre versus Miz match, which they didn't tell us. So again, I didn't know what the fuck McIntyre was doing. And I don't know why he was brought out to confront Roman if his whole purpose was to get a match with Miz.
Can I throw out two things that also really annoy me about this? So we're bringing up this part of Shane, Roman, and Miz and McIntyre that also wrapped the Usos coming out to the biggest pop.
Yeah.
It's a huge pop. And then it goes back to, I don't want to see more of this shit.
Yeah.
And I really don't like, the only thing, Miz's 1,000-yard stare, because when I was watching it didn't look like he was staring at Shane. It kind of looked like he was just looking at a camera like,
yeah.
It would be if I'm talking to you but staring off at that.
Yeah,
it's so fucking weird to me.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But let's see. Let's keep going here. Then after that, we got Usos versus the Revival, which is as incredible as you would think it would be.
It was
I
a
even
fantastic
had to take
match.
a bathroom break, and the whole time I'm in there, I just hear my girlfriend going, "Oh my god! Whoa! Oh my god! It's over! Wait, no, it's not over!" Like she was freaking the fuck out because it was that good of a match. Let's see. Revival ends up winning with the roll up by grabbing the tights. And the crowd was chanting, "This is awesome" during that match. The crowd was behind it, and these are two of the best teams, and man, it came out great.
Well, that was a good like sneaky win. That still everyone held their own. It looked good. It was a good match. That everyone looked strong, and it was like fuck it. If it's like one of those, if nothing else, I can win doing shitty things.
Yeah,
And that was great. It looked
good.
so awesome.
it was good. It did definitely put them back into a heel type spot. Now, here's the deal with Revival is they've always been big internet presence with like the rules of tag team wrestling, and we don't break the rules. But they almost always have like an asterisk that says like in front of the ref. Like you'll never see us do that in front of the ref.
Yeah.
Like they always have this like not in front of the ref. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Like they know all the rules, and it makes it even more impactful when they do these like cheating things because they're like, well, I didn't do it in front of the ref.
Exactly.
And so like I knew the rule, and as far as the ref knows, I followed the rules. You know.
Yeah.
So,
And I loved it was a really good match physically, like
oh yeah.
the moves, but also it's funny. Like I loved like when it first started out, and then he grabs Jay's vest and he's like rubbing it. It's like yeah, and I just like looked over at Alexis and I'm like, you don't fuck with a man's balls.
Oh
It's like yeah.
yeah. He'll rub his nuts on stuff.
Yeah. That's how you mark territory.
I'll lower the mic a little
Yeah.
bit. I just saw you go red on the decibel chart there.
I'm a loud man. I wonder if I fart, will it go to the red?
I was about to say, does anybody hear us? But they've been responding to us on this thing, so I know that they can. But I
Just
just
talking
realized
to
that
each other.
Just talking amongst themselves.
right? But I just noticed that the mic thing was showing the wrong one, and now it shows two. All right.
We're good? Yeah, we got
Yeah,
audio.
we're good. We've got audio. I just got some weird stuff going here. We are going to be, I apologize for all that. A little peek behind the curtain starting in about a week. We're going to have a more full-time producer type, so this kind of shit doesn't happen, because...
Thanks to your viewership, we're able to hire a producer.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah! Yeah!
It's a, hey.
Let's see, after that, so there's an Alexa Bliss spot, and it starts with Nikki Cross coming over and saying, "You wanted to talk to me?" This was especially weird because right after the first opening promo, it cuts to Alexa and Nikki Cross talking in the back as they say, "Special moment of bliss tonight with special guest Becky Lynch." So we know they've been talking all night. It was Alexa and Nikki talking, and now here they were in the same exact spot as was in the beginning thing.
Maybe she was talking to Crazy Nikki, and then it's like, hey, I need to talk to other you.
Other
Like
Nikki
seriously,
when we come
like
back.
get
Go get other
this
Nikki.
shit ain't working.
And so then Nikki comes over, "You want to talk to me?" I was like, this is really weird. We know you guys have been talking all fucking night. Matter of fact, in the same exact spot you're at now. Like, so, either way.
Fever dream.
Yeah. Let's see. Nikki ended up being, normal Nikki, and they were having a good back and forth, and Revival shows up.
Just so
screaming and
fucking
yelling,
hilarious.
getting like sweat on Alexa, and she's like, "Ew."
We want to be the next member
Yeah.
on Moment of Bliss.
Really good. I felt like all four members involved in that segment did a phenomenal job. Just
Yes.
absolutely perfect. I don't think any one person in there could have done any better. I don't think you could have put four other people in there and got it as good. Like, I thought the whole thing was just perfect. Very entertaining. Which was immediately followed by the Firefly Funhouse.
Which I love that they fleshed it out where they had the intro. I love like the like silly looking, burly, big brain cartoon.
Yeah.
And then I love that it was like a full intro and how it just kind of kept cutting and getting just like a little bit weirder, like distorting kids and then like distorting audio and then cutting to him. It was good. I loved it.
It reminded me a lot of all the previous Bray Wyatt videos that we've seen with the hard cuts and the not quite making sense and everything's just a little bit creepy, and it was cool, but I was ready for more Bray, and I don't feel like we got that.
Yeah.
I feel like we got kind of a Bray entrance video more so than a Bray video. My girlfriend had brought up a really good point of how clever would it have been now that Nikki is doing the two personalities, and Alexa in that promo previous to that was talking shit. You didn't win, but you didn't win. You know, like, oh, it was fine. You did the best you could, but you didn't win. And like was getting on her case. How great would it have been if it was a Bray Wyatt in his funhouse as normal Bray, and he has a sad friend he needs to bring out, and Nikki comes out, and I'm just sad I didn't win my match, and my best friend is mad at me and yelling at me, and he says he can help her as long as she lets him in. I mean, he's got to be careful how you say that. But just let me in. Let me in. Like, knuckle deep. And then it could cut to the whole... And then here's Bray with his mask. And there's Nikki with, like, creepy smeared makeup. Not quite like Chelsea Green. I don't want anyone to burn her gimmick. But, you know, maybe more like Sting Crow, but without the white. You know what I mean? And just have, like, crazy... fucked up Nikki makeup and have her just there like like fucking, and then you just cut away.
Or have her be that super good person, like how she's playing now, but more so amped up. And then you see it in the ring where it's almost like Waylon Mercy in the ring, where it's not crazy, but just fucking evil. You know, like where it's like how Dan Spivey did it, where it...
Hit it. Nope.
No.
It's gone.
Okay.
It'll be back.
Yeah. But like, just have that amped up where it's just evil and nasty and like way over the top, but still like polite. Like have her just be way...
Well, that's what I mean. Like if they'd started a promo with that and then cut to the evil sides of both of them, and then next time you see them, they're both kind of happy again. You know, the normal side. Like it would have been a really great time and way to do that. You know what I mean? Especially you have that promo leading into Firefly. It was set up to be just gold.
Yeah.
And they didn't go with that route. Still good stuff. But it's those little things that made me think, God, this could have really like had people talking.
Well, and also this Firefly Funhouse thing, I will say, it would have been cool if this was what happened last week, and then this week was the reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that...
I could see that. Yeah, in a reverse order, that could be really fucking crazy. Because it's like, what the fuck was that? Because you just see like some of the eyes, part of the mouth, but you don't see the whole picture.
Corey Taylor?
Yeah. If they did that, like, what the hell was that? And then, you know, this week it's all like, hey guys, do you want to see everything I've been working on? You know what I mean? And then cut to the whole thing. Yeah, that could have been great in the reverse order. Let's see. After that, we do have the Moment of Bliss.
Moment of Bliss. Oh, Bliss.
Yeah, Stackhouse agrees. He wants to see it move past promos. Now, I'm ready to see something happen too. And that's why I was hoping that Nikki would get involved, because then you can start having both sides begin to terrorize the rosters, right? You have Nikki start terrorizing the women's roster. You have Bray start terrorizing the men's roster and start doing in-ring things or backstage things, but just move away from these video packages. But we'll see where. Well, I guess we know it's gonna be there tonight, so we'll see what happens next week. But followed by that was the Moment of Bliss, and Nikki Cross came out with Alexa, and Alexa was picking on Nikki the whole time.
And get the coffee. I love this guy brings out 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah, for both of them, and then so she tries to pour the coffee into one, and then tries to get it back, and goes, "I guess you can have my leftovers." To Nikki. So I thought all of that was done really well. Becky Lynch was the guest. The Iconics come out.
I just put 2 noisemakers come out.
Yeah, they're awful, man.
It was the noise that happened when they came out. I was like, what is, I know what it is, but this is not, people don't do that. There's a subreddit I just found that's animals that yell, and I think that should have been posted there.
I don't know which last promo you mean.
No, them coming out.
No, Kevlar's saying.
Oh.
He felt like the last promo was a complete stretch and didn't make sense. I think any more details, I don't know exactly what you're talking about. We'll come back to it if you tell us what you mean.
Yeah.
The Funhouse. Oh, the last one didn't make sense? No, don't you see what I'm working on? I've been working on harnessing my evil.
Could it be Kevlar that it was because maybe it should have come ahead of last week's promo?
Yeah.
Because that was the
reverse order would have made a lot more sense, I think. And been less of a stretch.
Yeah.
But again, the Iconics come out, so does Lacey. They end up making a match. Becky Lynch was just like terrorizing all of them as far as their promo goes. She was crushing it. telling everyone that they're dumb, and it was great. No one was holding the candle to her in my book, from what I could tell. But Alexa and Nikki both did good. At that point, they do make this match, and then Becky says, well, Alexa will do. And she's like, I didn't say yes. And she goes,
just stand there and look pretty. And let the man do the rest, which was so fucking good.
So good, and then they just walk to the ring. I did think it was great how she was like, okay, grabs her coffee cup, walks down to the ring, sits there, she's sipping on it. I think Alexa played herself to the T on that one. It was really well done, the whole match. The match was a pretty good showing of Becky and Nikki. They both did a really good job. I felt like Billie Kay looks like she can't take a bump worth shit. She kept landing weird, awkward, and quiet. Most people land and it makes a noise, so you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Then let's see.
I liked in the match that Lacey wouldn't fight initially, like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Like
she wasn't doing
no, I got this. Like because the Iconics tagged each other in,
Yeah.
but they go to Lacey. No,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
don't want to be a part of it. And then she wanted to fight Nikki, but she wouldn't fight Becky. And then at a certain point, she walks away. It was a good way to get some heat. I mean, people did want to see Lacey get it one more time because she's just, that punchable.
Yeah.
And let's see, Alexa sat outside the ring the whole time, just drinking coffee and stuff, spilled some coffee on her and was freaking out. And I thought she did a great job of that. Becky gets the win with a leg drop from, was it the top or second rope?
Second rope, I think.
I think it was the second rope.
And I love that Nikki and Becky went, and then slowly you don't immediately see like Alexa coming because she's still.
She got her coffee.
Yeah.
So Nikki and Becky hold up their hands, and Alexa goes over there, grabs Becky's hand, and Becky snaps her hand away, walks over, grabs her belt, and walks out.
Which is tight.
That looked personal.
Yeah.
I get the impression they don't get along, but I think it looked good. It was still. I think everyone did a good job, but I could understand why someone who works as hard as Becky to get where she is and to put on the matches that she does could really not like the work rate ratio of what Alexa does to where she is. So I could see where it's all like, yep, here's literally the match where you're going to stand outside and sip coffee while I do all of the work again. Like, this is probably how it feels, I would imagine. I'll go out there and do all of the work. You sit there, stand there, look pretty, and then come in for the victory.
Well, I'll say this is like I think what Becky really does amazingly is that she does everything really well. I think there's a lot of people in male and female talent that do mic work or ring work well, and it's hard to find someone who does both. Alexa is fantastic on the mic.
Yeah.
And is fantastic as a heel, and I liked I was like, this is tight. This is good. I never liked in the ring because it just never really connect. Yeah. Whereas at times I feel like Charlotte is good in the ring, but I don't like, especially this last run, I don't like Charlotte. Yeah, she was great with her dad, and it was good when it was there, but it was something to like attach to.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like that she was getting into a role, and that's a lot of these people. I feel that Alexa could do. I mean, I don't know. I feel like what Becky does just so well is what makes
all of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the package. I do think. I see, Becky and Bayley both in that same realm. They're both great on both things. Nikki Cross as well, but I do believe I agree with you. I did not watch the 24
Bayley's now showing it off.
Yeah, she's now starting to really flex.
Yeah.
Did you watch the 24 on Becky Lynch?
No, I did not.
I have not watched it. I want to. I've not had time. I've got to start a new job and been training, and I just have not had a minute. I intend to watch it. Maybe if I get lucky, we'll watch it tonight after SmackDown. Otherwise, we'll probably watch it tomorrow when we're not on the show. Is there a thing? Does she talk about her dislike for Alexa in there? Is that where you're going with that? Because if that's true, cult it.
No.
Cult it. We'll see. I'm willing to accept a little bit of a spoiler there. Yes, I do know another spoiler in there as well that was pretty neat about the toys from the WrestleMania, and I'll tell you a little about that later too. But let's see. After that, we had Mick Foley coming out for the final third hour. And the third hour is now going to be Raw.
Being more Raw. I loved when there's a lot of here. I love when he came out that the crowd started chanting Albany. They started chanting the city's name.
I thought they were chanting Foley.
No, they were chanting Albany.
Oh, for a second, yeah, because the cheap pop thing.
Yeah, but it made me laugh. We saw that yesterday they were going to announce a belt.
Yeah.
And the speculation was it was going to be an Extreme Rules belt which I think would have been cooler than this, I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of this belt in general, and the biggest reason is, so it sounds like there's a belt in Japan that DDT has, and it's the heavy metal belt.
Heavy metal? I thought it was the Never Open.
No, that's a different belt. That's for New Japan. DDT is a different promotion.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, and it's the belt where famously they had a ladder versus a table.
What?
Yes, they've had a baby hold it, and it's a comedy belt, and it's funny, and it's also like it works for them because they just do dumb things, and it's okay there. I feel like a 24/7 belt here, and as we saw, I hated this segment. I mean, it was funny at times, but it just really, honestly upset me. And then when Foley started talking about it and showed off the belt, nothing. And I noticed that. Did you notice that there's like the crowd was dead, and I felt like you could see it on him because he seemed to hesitate. He seemed to be a little like struggling to talk about it, and how excited he was supposed to be because the crowd was like dead.
They were. I do know Foley did send out a few tweets as people were complaining about it, and he says he does blame himself that it was his poor promo that wasn't able to put over the belt very well, and that he thinks that it was really it was his lackluster promo that made the fans react that way. And I don't think that's true. I do think that had it been positioned a little differently, he might got a better reaction, but I don't think that's his fault. I also think that the belt wasn't so damn ugly.
The belt,
yellow and green, a little bit weird. I thought the
Does well in
physical strap
Wisconsin.
looked well.
Looks good in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I thought the side plates looked unfinished. They were just like blank cubes with a little bit of line.
And this big circle that says 24/7, and it doesn't...
That bothered me, the big circle with the 24/7. Now, I'll tell you this, though. The WWE logo on top, the lines on the side, the way it said champion on the outside, that portion of it, the outside rim of it, I thought was very reminiscent of like architecture work in New York. Having been to like Carnegie Hall and Rockefeller and all of that. Like, it reminded me of that style of font and stuff that you see there, and the metalwork you see. It reminded me on that. But then you put that big 24/7 in the middle, and it looked like there's a big sticker in the middle of a toy that says 24/7.
Yes. It felt like when you watch like a YouTube channel or something and they make a gimmick belt. And I get what you mean. A lot of WWE belts, what I like is they have this kind of Art Deco-y pullback. Like the Winged Eagle belt is an Art Deco style belt, and I love that. I, of late, have not liked a lot of the WWE belts because they either look very basic and it's almost like they're trying to rest on that this is our belt, it just says WWE and it could be so much more, or they're so over-designed that they seem weird. Like, the NXT old belt looked cool to me because it looked different.
Yeah, it was all squared off.
And there's so many really cool-looking belts out. Like, the Lucha Underground belts they had were really pretty.
The mine ones?
Oh, yeah, or the New Japan belts. I love their style of belts, like the red strap, or how they do that very Baroque style where it's carved and engraved and just really, really pretty.
Yeah, the NXT UK belts.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. The North American Championship for NXT looks great. I like that one a lot.
I think it's okay. I will say this is, I know I heard on Taz's podcast today, he talked about how if we're, quote, unhappy about, like, well, not quote, I mean, but if we are relatively unhappy about the look of it, that that'll go away in a week. And he said that, remember the Universal title, and how everyone said it was ugly, but now no one says that anymore. I still say that, actually. I still talk about how ugly that belt is. Every time it's on sale on the network, I always think, like, or the shop, I'm always like, no. I mean, I like to collect the little belts they have and stuff, and every time I see Universal, I go, it's not only is it ugly, but it's also meaningless.
I think the Universal belt to me, like, it looks like if you, like, I've always thought it'd be cool to have belts that match outfits. Like, I love red sneakers. I love, like, red high top Nikes. I think that would be a great, I'm going to a show and I got a custom WWE belt with a red leather strap to go with my shoes. It doesn't look good all the time.
No, like, I think that if the Demon held it, it'd be cool because it would be like this weird demon strap on it, right? But at the same time, like, you're right, I don't think it, like, seems to match or look well with other things. I think maybe if it was a brighter red, it was just this weird dingy red. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I again don't like the design of this belt. I will say this is Taz was talking about, like, the good parts of the belt, and I like I was saying at the top of the show, I do like to talk about the positives as much as I can, and I do understand that it was and is a tool to get some of the talent that we've been complaining isn't getting enough airtime, a little more airtime with a little bit of purpose. If you had tried to have, like, let's say a three-way match of Mojo and Titus and Robert Roode, what the fuck for? But here you have them all scrambling, sort of fighting each other over a thing now, and the story can continue that way. I will say this, though, I don't want Mojo focusing on this 24/7 title.
And it didn't. And I know that we're going to have these scrambles, and I think it calls back to, was it WrestleMania 18 where they had the hardcore, or WrestleMania 2000 where it was the 15-minute time limit match hardcore championship match?
So let's talk about that real quick. The Scramble originally was a 15-minute match where every time someone got a pinfall or submission, they became the new current champion, but the match was going to continue until the time limit was up, which was such a horrible idea. They only tried it, I think, one other time.
Mm-hmm.
And it again did not go well because it was such a horrible idea. So to call it a scramble, I immediately groaned. I went, oh, please don't do a fucking scramble. And then it turned out it was instead of a scramble, instead of a true scramble, it was just a mad dash.
And there wasn't any, it didn't highlight anyone.
Didn't highlight
the only thing that made me, it made me giggle, but things that were like commentary, like Titus made it to the ring.
Yeah.
And it also, unfortunately, in a sad way, showcased how far some people fell down the card. Why is Robert Roode in this one? Robert Roode, I liked the gimmick.
Yeah.
Why? And Eric Young now looks like a jobber.
It was crazy.
I was like, who is that random white guy with kind of stubble? Oh, that's Eric Young. Fuck.
Yeah, I was trying to figure who it was too, and I realized it was Eric Young. I was like, oh. But
oh, I'm so sorry.
now here's the other thing: is that I do understand also that this is a gimmick you can run with the network, right? You have a 24-hour network. You got 24-hour social media. Here are things that were available now that were not for the hardcore title. The thing the hardcore title had that this does not is it started out as a joke, but a really specific joke. It was awarded to Mankind, as is present there. It was awarded to Mankind as a joke. It was a gift from Vince to Mankind, who then cherished that belt so much and wore it with pride, and then behaved like it was a true title, and then someone started challenging him for it.
Yes.
So it was a title that started out as a joke that, in a sense, became legitimate. Now, after that, it was a normal title back and forth until, I forget who got it. I want to say it was Holly. I think Bob Holly got it and said, I'm going to defend this 24/7, literally 24/7. And then it became a 24/7 rule where you were always doing it. But even that didn't pick up in the comedy till later on. It started out with, we were going to have just designated matches, and occasionally someone would get jumped from behind. But it was always like hardcore motherfuckers and bloody instances and weapons to try and make that happen. Where this just looked like Scooby-Doo, man.
And I feel like part of it, so like a title like this, it might have passed its time where it's not something available in this promotion because we're in the PG era, and there's benefits to that and cost.
Which is why it's the 24/7, not the hardcore.
Which also doesn't really, if it's not made strong, it doesn't work. If you're gonna make it, I think a hardcore belt would work, but also it wouldn't work because I'll be honest, Extreme Rules matches and no DQ matches don't work now because it doesn't look good, and the impact of it is when the blood's there, it's really out of place. Like this pay-per-view was really bloody and unexpectedly so.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. And also that's kind of a good thing. We don't need this belt because a lot of what made those matches to me as a kid so awesome and looking back was they were train wrecks. And now looking back I cringe because the elements, unprotected chair shots to the head, a lot of what happened there really wasn't good.
Avocado Badado is back.
Avocado Badado?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Commander Root. Just happy to see you guys all in here. EBT, Active Energy. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I'm imagining you guys all follow, or you wouldn't have known we were on today.
EBT?
This one. Yeah.
Like
EBT. It's EUBYT.
Oh, I was thinking like, what did you?
EPT?
No, I was talking about EBT, like food stamps in Arizona. EBT.
Oh, the EBT card.
Yeah.
I think I meant like EPT, which is like the pregnancy test. I don't think that's the case here. I think this person's going for something else entirely.
Okay.
Probably something way better.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you following. If you do, if you don't, go ahead and hit the old follow button and turn off notifications. You don't have to watch if you don't want to.
Yay.
Let's see. Yeah, so I think the 24/7, also the title of it, the 24/7 title I did not like.
Yeah.
if they'd given it a different name, if it had something else in it. Taz had a few really good ideas on his podcast. I encourage you to listen to it. It was only 45 minutes and a great listen. But he had like 3 different ideas that I think would have been good. I was thinking they could even do something, since we are in the network era, make it a WWE Network champion.
Yeah.
Now you're a champion who can go onto any show that's on the network that's, live. And then you can even have a 24/7 show that maybe every now and again suddenly has an update. What was that? You go and click on it, and they shot a 2-minute video for you or some shit. WWE.com exclusive. Network Championship just changed hands.
Yeah.
Call the WWE Network Championship.
Absolutely.
You
Something.
could even have a similar design and then just do like they have for the 24 show that they have, right? Where it's the WWE logo inside. Instead of having the 24, because I don't want the 24, we call it the network one, you have that kind of swoosh around the outside of it. Now you've got a mix of this belt and your new belt that would have looked nicer. And then you could even have on one side plate the number 24, on the other side plate the number 7. Make here's the network championship that's defended 24/7 and not have these blank squares on the side. I just think that it could have been better.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I do think that it may be better than we're giving it credit today, and I'm willing to give it a chance. I just don't see where you go with it that's really going to be impactful. Here's what I think. I want Lars Sullivan to take it. And then I want us to see over and over again how he just beats the snot out of everyone in the back.
And he just walks around
just walks around with it. Yeah, you come to me now. I'm not going to have to chase down anybody now. You know what I mean? I want to see him have it and then stand there and be like, yes, come get this title. And you have a group of guys who are just scrambling for it. Just be like,
yeah, like have one person go up and just be destroyed. And they're like, cool, we're good, and just walk away.
And then half people start coming up from behind him and hitting him with a chair or something and try to take that edge. People jumping off his shit all of a sudden. Maybe make it interesting that way, but like as it stands right now, like you said, it's a comedy belt, it's a comedy gimmick, and I mean, I'm not saying there's not room for comedy in it, but the way it was put together doesn't interest me much.
Yeah.
I definitely think there's room for comedy in wrestling. I don't know if this is how you do it though.
Yeah, I think what the WWE needs to invest in with comedy and wrestling is there's things they do very well. There's people they have that are very good at it, because a lot of places that rely on comedy and wrestling, and I'm guilty pleasure love, unfortunately also rely on really dark or kind of base humor that you can't run on TV. So they're kind of in a corner, but they have the money and they can get the talent to do it. They could do really well if they really tried it, but I don't know. I want to see it. I don't want it to be like. I want to see. I've always want to see humor in a different way put through the WWE, because sometimes, I mean, sometimes it can be like, okay, I'm really tired of poop jokes. I'm really tired of, Vince McMahon wanting someone to be covered in like shit.
I do think that like the Usos and Revival did a really good job of doing it, getting on that blue collar side of humor, but still being funny and somehow still maintaining the integrity of all those characters. Like I think they did a really good job of it. So I'm not against the idea of comedy in there, but I don't know if I want a belt that has a rubber nose on it. And that's what it feels like.
That'd be good. That'd be better telling. The rubber nose belt. They could do the red nose belt, and then for charity.
Yeah, the winner's purse goes to charity.
Getting
back to Memphis. Let's see. We're getting towards the end of the show here. We got Miz and Drew McIntyre had a match, which I wasn't sure what the hell that was about. And during this match, and during the match previous, they were saying we're getting back to Raw, back to being Raw. They turned off all the lights in the audience. They turned off the lights on the post. They started showing graphics that were mostly black and white with just a splash of color. And I think that's a thing they're going to try now to make everything look like WWE Evolution.
And I didn't even notice it. I mean, that does sound cool, and I could appreciate that. I think the reason I didn't notice is, honestly, these last two matches were kind of hard to watch.
They were a little hard to watch.
And, like, I know that a thing that has happened in the past month with WWE is that not only has viewership gone down, but viewership in the last hour has dropped significantly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which, this could be cool. I just wish the fucking matches were different.
Yeah, so in this match, The Miz dominates almost the entire match. And I put in here, I'm not buying it. It comes off really poor. Miz doesn't look like a super athlete.
Nope.
He doesn't look like the Terminator
Nope.
from Scotland, like Drew McIntyre looks like. I'm not saying that you have to look a certain way to be a certain way, but I will say the wrestling business is more about looks than it is about not. And I will say that the idea of Drew being as dominant as he has been to guys like Dean and Braun and Baron and Lashley and just everybody he's just completely been in dominating matches with, he dominated Roman for a big chunk of his match. Even the match that he lost, he still dominated a lot. And here he was not dominating against The Miz and having a really tough time against The Miz. If I didn't hate The Miz enough already, every time they pull this shit out and trying to say that he's this level of excellence, I find it not believable and it turns me off even more from him. His whole gimmick with him and Roman going back and forth, remember when they had the IC title going back and forth? For whatever fucking reason, that whole year, Roman hadn't lost like any matches, but every time he was in the ring with Miz, he lost. And it was like, why is he getting all these clean finishes over Roman? Like, Braun can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Brock couldn't figure it out. But Miz is like, oh yeah, I can take on Roman. I can beat Roman, no problem.
Yeah.
Well, then why the fuck don't we have Miz as the Universal Champion? Why didn't he beat Brock? If this is who we have.
Well, I think it speaks to something that's been happening where they want to make Miz this monster push and make him this face. You don't have to make him a valiant face. And I think, I've said this over and over again, I think I finally really thought of who, if you're going to make him a face, model him after someone, model him after Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Have him be a face, but a face who
loosens
his boot, does something like that. That would work so goddamn well.
Yeah.
And you could have these doofy, dumbass matches with people like Shane or DQ matches where he could do stuff that would be funny, could be underhanded, and it would make so much more sense than I'm a face and I'm a badass because of a show on USA Network, and I have to be a face because it's a show, and it makes no sense for people who don't watch it for me to be a heel.
Yeah.
And, I'm fighting for my daddy. And I don't care about that.
I hate it.
And I really hate also that what they do is, this really also kind of takes away from, Miz, it also kind of takes away from that relationship with his parents, which it's kind of silly and dumb, but it doesn't make sense.
No.
Like now his dad likes him, and you've talked about how his dad didn't like him, but we've seen his dad did like him.
And his dad in previous episodes of Total Divas, they go to his house and he's got a room filled with Miz merch.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, he's got a Miz Pride room. I mean, and all that stuff aside, it's not easy to buy into. And I watch wrestling to kind of buy into the stories and to back the guys I like to back and to boo the guys I don't like. But I want to believe it either way. I like booing Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Because that motherfucker's a mean dude. He's mean.
Yeah.
He beats up my guys.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's believable.
Yeah, he could be if he can be that total force because he's 6'7" and 260 and just a monster.
I hate the way he walks out and does that robot.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hate it.
He looks like something just rammed deep into him and he's trying to deal with it. He looks.
Wait, what?
Looks like he's got something just rammed up his ass. He's trying to deal with it.
Oh, he's trying to. He's that whole kind of wiggle when
or
you scratch your butthole.
So if you're
trying to touch it, trying to get it to scratch itself.
Yeah.
I can see that. That's what he's doing. His leather shorts are up in the craw.
He looks like he's presenting to a classroom, but he has to fart, and he's trying not to.
He's like, just leave it there.
Don't no.
Yeah. No. I can see that.
Unlike 2 weeks ago here, where you let it out.
So. That's a good point. It was probably you, though. According to the video clip, if you guys like our YouTube channel, there's a clip of Clump farting on the air. This piece of shit. Let's see.
How can I fart from a piece of shit? I am the... Yeah, I'm just going to shut up. Yeah, that's fair.
It's how you yawn.
See, I should just bring coffee every time. Because I haven't yawned this time yet. I've burped several times.
That's a good point. You're finally staying awake one time.
Yeah.
Let's see. So the end of that match ends with Shane getting involved and then Drew getting a Claymore barely pulling off a win against Miz. I really wasn't buying it. I'm really over the Miz right now. Roman comes out because they're both beating up on Miz, and I just didn't care.
Yep.
That whole match, I did not care about anyone in it, and I wanted to. Here's how many guys out there? Four guys, 4 of your top stars, and you couldn't make me care. Let's see. Kofi and Seth cut a promo. Really liked it. Kofi starts saying he's the WWE Heavyweight Champion.
And then Seth walks off.
And Seth is going all he looks at it weird. And then Kofi looks over at Seth and goes, Seth, where are your hips at? Oh no, where are your hips at, Seth? so fucking funny, and Seth just kind of walks away.
Which Kofi looked great. It made me like really like I was like I really don't like Seth as a champion because I'm like, oh, you're gonna be a whiny bit. You're gonna be whiny and embarrassed too. Fuck off.
Yeah, no, but it was so funny. Where are your hips at, Seth? Like he almost came off mad. Like what the fuck are you doing? We're doing our hips thing, dude. Like he got all mad at him. It was really cool.
Yeah.
That was my Nesto. Dude.
Yeah.
Where are your hips at, dude?
I was saying, this very much reminds me of like when we used to work with each other. It's like, yeah. And I felt like Seth.
Yeah.
But it never works when you Seth. It never works when you. It just separates you more, and you look like. Come on.
Oh yeah.
You can't play along. You're terrible at this. Why are you here?
Yeah. Get out.
Go work.
Get out.
This is why you're not allowed in this goddamn room. Fuck off.
Yeah. That's why no one wanted you here anyways. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Give me what I want. Give me what I
Hey, wait.
want. Let's see. So after that, we get Samoa Joe promo, which was really good. You clearly saw the broken effing nose.
Yeah.
It was all big and to the side and twisted. He's Picasso Joe.
That was like that was a bad hit. Like, oh fuck, you got hurt.
Yeah. My girlfriend was all like, his nose looks weird. And I was like, well, once it goes straight, you're going to see. It's really off to the side there. And then he kind of looked a little bit more straight on the screen. He's like, ugh!
Yeah.
Just like,
that wasn't intended.
yeah.
And then it was swelling up here, and I was like,
Yeah.
it was with Alexis like, fuck, I think he got a broken orbital.
Oh, yeah.
He's
It's all broken
fucked.
now. Let's see. Saw that Shane and Vince have always been at odds for the most part, but didn't buy I'm defending Daddy's honor. Oh, yeah. I agree. And Bukarama.
I did
Bukarama!
like
Bukarama!
I did like Shane saying I am a rich kid. I was like,
Oh yeah. As a rich kid, I get to make decisions when I want, and like I get that. I agree. They've always been at odds, and it was always like "F you, dude." But I mean, yeah, I don't see him like truly defending his dad's honor, but I do see him from a character standpoint using that as a fake reason to want to beat someone up. I don't see it as like his character truly is "you hurt my dad." It's fuck Roman, and you know what? I'll just tell him it's because he hit my dad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what his beef is with Roman from a storyline standpoint yet. You're you're right. I don't believe that it comes off very, very well that it's truly because of his dad. It really feels like it's not about his dad, which makes it a little more interesting to me.
And I mean, if you're gonna do this feud, it could have been cooler having this feud be a feud of pedigrees. In a sense, like
Neither one does the pedigree. That was Triple H.
Okay, goddamn it. But like, you could have it be a feud of like two families integrally involved in wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
That's another because.
Well, then you put Vince back in a match.
Oh fuck no, that'd be a terrible idea. You might get.
Man, he's dead.
Yeah, but then again, Roman's dad's about the same fucking age.
We're not Roman's dad. I thought you were gonna put in the Usos. What are you doing? Who are you booking, dude?
Well, but you could do it like you could have this be like a feud between the two of them where it's like, or yeah, it could be the bloodline where it's the Usos and Roman, and you could bring in other members of that family versus like Shane being like have it be against Shane as this authority figure, this person who's always been a symbol of what they've worked with or against and been at odds with, because they've always been in wrestling and the bookers for them in multiple generations have always been McMahon's. You just keep looking away so upset.
We're like, you want to put Haku in there and fucking Tonga?
Not related to him.
Up, dude.
Not related to him.
They're not?
No.
Who's the other Fatu that's out there?
Haku's not Fatu. Or Illinois. They're
Yeah, but there's no Fatu out there though.
The Usos' younger brother is in the Indies.
Yeah. He's Starcast.
Yes. And he's really good. Oh yeah, he's fucking fantastic. He's really, really good.
I didn't realize he was Usos' younger brother. I thought he was.
Yeah, he's like 5 years younger. He's like
They could bring back Rosie.
just a box of bones. This I got Yokozuna. Yokozuna, Umaga, and Rosie just dump a box of ash in the fucking ring.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let's wrap this up. So Samoa Joe cuts a really great promo about being an example to Dominic, Ray's son. It was just really good. I think they re-showed that video where his shoulder wasn't down. Rumor right now is that Ray legit hurt his shoulder on one of those bumps after the match and has a separated shoulder now. And so
Wah, wah.
There might be a good reason to get that title off of Ray, and what a good storyline if Ray does say, "Hey, I didn't." I mean, that would be a super face thing to do, to give the belt back to the heel who doesn't give a shit if you want to. He just wants his fucking title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it'd be perfectly played out for both of them, and then when they're both back from their injuries, let them hash it out one more time. Yeah.
Thank you for the title.
I do want Joe to come out in that old fucking face mask, the Trish Stratus, Miz, Brutus the Barber, Beefcake face mask to cover his broken nose. I think that'd be crazy.
Big face mask.
But it'd be huge, dude. It's gonna be like a fucking
Like tape 3 of them together.
Yeah. After that, Truth becomes the 24/7 champion. 3 champions, 1 night, 1 hour. Not a fan. Now, Truth has been calling it the European Championship, which I like.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's on Twitter.
if we're gonna make it a comedy thing, I'm okay with
Oh.
Truth because Truth is funny. And
he's great.
Yeah, he's. Some of my things that got me back in wrestling were Truth doing dumb shit like running out for the Royal Rumble and putting up a ladder and climbing up to the top.
Where's
Shit.
the briefcase? Yeah.
Or my bad when it was like they're like all the people for the Money in the Bank. Oh, my bad, just bailing out. I'm cool with that. I like Truth a lot.
Yeah, he's great. So I don't have a problem with Truth holding it actually because I think it's gonna be funny, but. I don't know. Time will tell. They have not done well with the women's tag championships, so I don't know that bringing in a comedy championship is going to make things better.
I would think it'd be funny if they dissolve it and just don't acknowledge it, and then
Just gone.
6 months later, Truth comes up with the belt. Like, what the fuck is that? 24/7 belt. Oh yeah, we have that. Yeah.
Yeah, he cuts a promo where he's burying it behind some tree or some shit, and he comes back, it's all covered in blood.
Oh, that'd be so good. Just leaves it somewhere.
Yeah, just leave it somewhere and be like, I don't know where it is, and then every now and again you see.
You can't get it if you don't know where it is.
You need the belt back? No. Let's see. So the final match of the night was Kofi and Seth versus Lashley and Corbin in what was suddenly a no DQ match.
And I liked Kofi coming out and them telling him, he's like, oh,
Yeah.
no DQ match?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It was not a bad match, not a great match. Kofi got the win, is that right? Or did Seth get the win? I didn't even write a note on that. After I'll be honest with you, I have matches no DQ all of a sudden and no other notes. No DQ.
Corbin attacks.
Yeah, we both checked out during that match. I don't remember who wins other than I know that it was the faces. I don't remember if it was Kofi or Seth. If any of you guys loved that match and were way off kilter here, go ahead and tell us. I'm happy to hear another side. I think Kofi and Seth are great. I think Corbin's great. I believe Lashley had a good showing that night.
It just didn't seem like a match that should have been the main event. It feels like this is a match that's in the main event because 2 of the people, or they're trying to push people, but it just didn't feel like it. It didn't feel like it deserved to be in the main event. This felt like an hour 2 match.
And I will tell you this. The true main event was the fact that after the match, Brock Lesnar comes out. That was actually the main event, and that much I remember. Is
Please
the
don't
match
take...
ends, they're in there, and he starts walking around the ring. I love when he does that shit, because he does it every now and again. He comes out and just circles the ring with whoever he wants is on the inside, like a shark spinning around their prey, and then he decides whether or not he's going to come in. He decides he's not, and he says, we'll make him wait a week, and then we'll tell him what we want. Give him up!
I really wanted to take Seth's title. I really don't want him to take Kofi's title, although it could be a good feud, but I really don't want... I don't want Lesnar to get a belt back this quickly, and I really don't
I don't, and I mentioned it yesterday, but you weren't here for it because you suck. But Brock being back to me is fine. I think Brock being back as a part-timer is absolutely fine. I think if you put a title on him, that's when the problems arise from a fan standpoint. I don't like having your main title never show up and be defended 4 times in a year, and then you want us to think, oh, what a great reign. It doesn't mean anything if it's not being defended, right? So there's a few things that can make a championship mean something. Part of it's who's got it, how dominant are they, how many times are they defending it, are they defending it at all? 4 times in a year, which I think it was honestly 6 times that one year, is not enough to say what a significant reign. Even though he defended it against some great competitors, it wasn't enough to say, oh, this person's dominant. No, he just had 6 good matches in a year. Most of the matches weren't even that good.
Nope.
But at the end of the day, if he's back and he's part-time and he comes in as this force that every now and again we can't fucking shake him, he just comes out and terrorizes our people and leaves. Great! Great character for that. But if you throw an important title on him, it undermines the championship.
I think don't even have him announce it. I think it'd be good if he just comes back once in a while and does it, and then eventually he's like, you know what, I'm doing this. And then you can build it up over time. Where they say like, well, what about Lesnar? And he doesn't have to show up like at pay-per-views. Have him show up and just show up at the entrance ramp, look down and walk away.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No,
and then
I want him to challenge someone to a match not for the title.
Yep.
Beat Seth and don't put the title on the line. Then Seth is out. He'd lose. You know what I mean? Like I liked him to do crazy shit like that. I want to take you on. I'm not cashing in. Well, I'm not gonna want my title. I don't want you to.
Have him go out there. Have it be a match at like a pay-per-view. Have it be a fucking amazing match. Not have the title on it, and then have him walk over and grab the title, look over at it, no, and walk away.
Yeah.
Like I could do this. I could, and then just
Yeah,
or walk
the
up.
title, look at the Money in the Bank, and forget it.
Just look at someone crumpled in the ring, hold it over them, walk away.
Yeah. Do some crazy, intense shit like that, and I'll be happy with it, you know?
No.
But I think that, if you throw him in a match against Seth at Saudi Arabia and he takes the title and now we're back to where we started, it's not going to feel fun. It's not going to be exciting. I forgot the Universal title existed while he had it. Legit, he showed up, and there was one of the times he showed up and goes, oh shit, what's that belt? I thought that. I legit said that out loud because I was like, oh, what's that? You know, and then I went, oh, it's the most important belt in the company. Okay, that's right. I forgot about it. But I legit had a moment of, oh shit, there's a new belt. Brock brought up a
Oh,
belt.
cool.
Yeah.
Might as well have like Strowman come out and wear his Royal Rumble belt.
Yeah, have Strowman come out with his Royal Rumble belt. The greatest battle
I actually
royal.
also really like that belt too.
It's actually a really good
Like it
belt.
looks cool.
It looks really cool. I will say this, we mentioned it yesterday, so tell me what you think, but we're about to wrap this up, guys. If you have anything you want us to bring up that we haven't, please spit it out at us. Tell your friends to follow us, even if they don't leave notifications on. If you know anybody who works at Crown Royal, or maybe is the inventor of Crown Royal, let them know that we're looking for a sponsorship or cease and desist. If you know someone at another liquor company, hell, Fleischmann's. We could use the sponsorship from Fleischmann's, and I don't even want them to send me money. Send me booze. God, I don't think I drink Fleischmann's.
Wait. Costco. If you know someone at Costco, we would love Costco to sponsor us because then you can get. It's
It's
essentially Crown Royal, but Kirkland Crown Royal, and I can get some.
Kirkland Road, does it come in a bag?
Yeah, actually, it comes with a really cool bottle, and it's a bigger bottle, and it's glass.
No, size matters.
Yeah, my dad.
Stackhouse shout out. Size
Boom.
matters.
And then we can get crates of sparkling water for me.
Yeah. Also, I could work for Costco if you know anybody who's hiring. I'm just kidding. But so we brought it up yesterday. We're gonna bring it up again real quick. They did not call the Greatest Royal Rumble this year the Greatest Royal Rumble. They said there's going to be a 50-man battle royal. I believe they're distancing themselves from the idea of the battle royal. But here's the Royal Rumble, which I will say this is last year I was really upset that it was the Greatest Royal Rumble when I already loved the Royal Rumble. But you put 50 men in there. However, once you say it's a battle royal, that means that all men start in the ring first. How do you put 50 dudes in a fucking ring? And if you don't, are you mislabeling a battle royal that's a Royal Rumble?
I agree either way. I think
If they had called it a battle rumble,
I'm okay with
I'd
that.
have been happy with that.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be the style of a Royal Rumble.
I think so too, and I think that's shitty if you're gonna call it a battle
Hey,
royal. and
as
not
long as
have
they
the
don't
rules.
call it the Greatest Royal Rumble, because that really annoyed me. I agree with
hated
you.
it.
Because
Greatest
I'm the kind of person who.
Oh, sorry, I enjoyed the shit Royal Rumble you gave me.
Yeah. Well, as a person, as a wrestling fan, what I like to do a lot of times, like when I'm doing stuff around the house, like if I'm working on something and I want background noise, I'll put old Royal Rumbles on because I just like them.
perfect.
They're like a great spectacle match. But you know which one I don't watch? That one. Even though it's long as hell, because it's also a really fucking boring Royal Rumble.
It was.
It's too long, weird. And it's both too long and not long enough because
And
nothing
it
gets
didn't
built.
matter, and nothing mattered.
Yes.
And when you watch the old Royal Rumbles, every time someone wins, you see like Shawn Michaels win, you go, "Oh fuck, I remember that he went and did this other match." That was his Brett match,
Yeah.
right? Like so, I mean, like you see the wins on it. You see Ric Flair win one randomly. Like, oh my god, he got the title with a tear in my eye.
Yeah.
You know.
The only thing on that I liked was at the very end where the representative for the government of a country that we don't name anymore offers it and pulls it back, and I was like, "Fuck," because that's something that they can do, and I'm sure Vince in his head would have hated. I'm sure off-site Vince was just pissed.
Yeah.
Because you're minimizing his employees, you're minimizing this belt, which I think is shitty. And I think that's one of the things I really don't like about this deal, is these matches go over to this country, and they look, the company, it just looks shitty.
It looks stupid. Like, so, and that's the other thing, by calling it the greatest Royal Rumble, made me feel like, okay, so when I was rooting for Shinsuke to win the previous Royal Rumble, was that the shittest Royal Rumble? You have the shit Royal Rumble you put on once a year, and then the actual good one for Saudi Arabia? Fuck you, dude. And I will tell you this, having been to the Royal Rumble this year, if they called this one the greatest Royal Rumble, fuck you, dude. That was no shit Royal Rumble. I mean, here's our basic Royal Rumble for all of you subscribers, but the real Royal Rumble's the one in the other country.
Yeah.
Either way.
With nobody, even in a country that's never had an event like this before, nobody could give a fuck. That was also the
They didn't give a fuck!
That was the thing that was so frustrating in it. What it was the people around the ring, it was a thing of, I have money and means and I'm here.
Yeah.
To showcase me. And
I'm watching more on the cell phones and shit.
It's like in, and this is gonna sound weird, in old Shakespearean plays, when Shakespeare's alive, when they would do the original runs of plays.
You seen those?
Well, no, goddamn.
Did
But
you catch the DVD of one of those?
famously,
Okay.
the queen or royalty would be above the stage, not even watching the fucking play, but be there so you could see this person there, and it was a thing happening. And a lot of theaters, like the old style theaters, you would have this spot above it where they're not the aristocracy are not even watching the fucking play. That's what it felt like, and it sucked because nobody gave a shit.
Yeah. So if you want to go to your local library, check out the DVDs of original Shakespeare plays where the Queen went and didn't watch. That's where Clump gets all of his info.
I went to college.
No one who watches us regularly believes that. Because they've seen you
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
heard you.
Liberal arts degree, not speaking, writing.
Liberal farts, am I right? This bag of
That's what my dad calls me. Liberal farts.
Liberal farts? Oh,
Yeah.
I can see that. You're kind of like a living whoopee cushion.
Yeah.
Like
Who
if I
is-
squeeze you hard enough, I'm going to get a little flappy one.
Who has a Bernie Sanders bumper sticker? So yeah, liberal farts.
Oh, that makes sense.
Liberal farts.
One other thing before we go, the call. I think you said you watched last night. Were you available for the call in the Miz match where everyone's saying the ref made the wrong call because he did a rope break pinfall?
Yes.
Did you hear what I said yesterday? Were you watching? No.
No.
Logged in, not watching. So Jimmy Corderas
Everybody
mentioned
high.
it on his Twitter and stuff. The only time that there's no rope break on a pinfall is in a Falls Count Anywhere match only. Cage match is not the same. My argument being, from a ref standpoint, is that the reason that a rope break doesn't break a submission in a cage match is because it's a no disqualification match, and you can't be disqualified for going for a pin, right? So if someone's holding you with a submission and you grab the rope, if they don't break it by the count of 5, you're disqualified. Therefore, if I hold the rope and you can't disqualify me, I can hold it as long as I want, because the only repercussions is that I get disqualified otherwise, and you cannot do that. However, there's no disqualification for continuing to pin someone who's not being counted. So there's no reason why you wouldn't have the rope break on the call. It's not a disqualification question.
it's a count thing.
Yeah.
If it were a submission and he was holding but still tapped,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I was one of the people who's like, what the fuck? And then that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not Marsh Clump or Ref Clump.
Yeah, you're not Ref Clump. The disqualification was not in the cards. It's not like, hey, grab the rope. You better stop pinning him or I'll disqualify you. No, you fucking lay all you want. It's not going to count.
I think it was something that maybe they should have done though, because that entire fucking crowd was.
They were pissed.
Bullshit.
And then I got mad. I'm yelling. And I was like, you guys don't know the fucking rules. None of you know the fucking rules. I was getting all mad. But
Man, you really sound like a wrestling podcaster now.
oh yeah,
You're
wrestling podcast is fucking up. I'm the only one right.
Dirt sheet smelter, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like a smelter. But that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you guys for tuning in today. If you did, if you didn't, thank you anyways for watching afterwards, because you couldn't hear me say this if you weren't watching. So, Stackhouse, you're my dude. Our loading, I don't know why you check in every time, but I'm so happy that you do. We are going to do these chips, and you guys are top of my list for running of the big stuff. Thank you everyone who chatted at us. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. Blue Boyd, Stackhouse, Faptina,
Cam Lamb,
and
Akimarama! Akimarama! That's my Batista saying
Mbukurama. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Watch SmackDown tonight. We will not be live tomorrow as advertised on our site because we're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But I will be at StarCast this week despite all of the lack of events happening now. So we'll see. They did say they were going to announce 2 more panels. I don't know what they are yet. I don't know if they've announced them yet, but I'll check out tonight. So I am going to come at you guys live at StarCast a couple of times to make up for us not having a Wednesday show. So next Wednesday we will cover tonight's SmackDown, the next week's Raw, and the SmackDown after that. So it might be a little bit longer, but maybe we'll condense and skip a few parts that suck.
Yeah.
Or hopefully there's nothing that sucks and we got to talk about it at all.
That'd be cool. I'm cool going long if it's worth it. Like.
Whoa.
You
can't say that. You can't say that on TV, dude. That's disgusting.
We're not on TV for one.
Oh,
if you're gonna give me shit for calling this podcast, we're not on TV, motherfucker.
Not a fucking podcast either.
And we're not on TV, motherfucker. I went red.
You went red again. Give me one out. Thank you guys. Tune in next week. We are Wrestling at the Rocks. I am at Ref Marsh on Twitter, at MarshRef on Instagram. Clump is as he looks, and his presence is the same on social media, just a clump. So, we'll see you guys next week. We'll see you guys during the week when I come to you live from Star